It has been more than a decade since TLC launched Sister Wives, which chronicled the lives of Kody Brown and his four wives, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn. Unsurprisingly, their unconventional marriage was much talked about, as not only was polygamy illegal in all 50 states of the U.S., but it was also frowned upon by most people due to the controversies associated with such a practice. The Brown family agreed to do the reality television show in hopes of changing the negative notion that the public had of polygamy. They claimed to be one big happy family, but from the start, one could easily see the discord among his wives that affected his relationship with them as well. Lately, viewers are wondering if there is some truth to the rumors circulating on social media that Robyn and Meri are in love. Kody originally belonged to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints before converting to the more liberal sect of Mormon fundamentalism, which followed the early doctrine of celestial plural marriage, as it was believed to be instrumental in one's spiritual growth. He believed that it was his calling. He legally married Meri in 1990 and then had spiritual unions with Janelle in 1993, Christine the following year, and Robyn in 2010. His courtship of and marriage to his fourth wife was featured in Season 1 of the TV series. He has 18 children altogether. One could only imagine how he's able to manage such a large family without any wife and any child feeling neglected. He once said that it was all about being committed to what he considered as a sacred way of life, and his belief that he shared a destiny with each of his wives, and that they were predetermined to be one family. The Browns lived in Lehi, Utah, in a house that was perfectly suited for a polygamous family, as it allowed all of them to stay together, but still have space independent of one another. This made things very convenient for Kody, as he could be within easy reach of everyone should there be a need, even as he followed a schedule of which wife he would be with. Also, being around each other helped foster closeness among siblings, regardless of who their mother is. After Sister Wives was introduced in 2010, on the media tour of the Television Critics Association, the Lehi Police Department began their investigation of the family, because it was considered a felony under the state's bigamy law to be married to more than one person at a time, or married to one and cohabitating with another adult. Kody's only recourse was to move the whole family, which he did to southern Nevada in 2011, where nothing could prevent a married person from living with someone else, provided that they weren't married to each other as well. It was a decision that was difficult for everyone. Kody and his wives would have to start over, find work, and make new living arrangements to sustain their lifestyle. In mid-2018, they relocated again to Flagstaff, Arizona. Since leaving Utah, the wives lived separately from each other, and it had taken a toll on the closeness that they once shared and had worked hard to achieve. Soon it became apparent that Kody was enjoying a monogamous relationship with Robyn, as he became emotionally distant from his other wives. The relationship between sister wives was complicated and continually evolving. Sharing one husband was never easy, no matter how one would look at it, as jealousy would rear its ugly head. Unless one didn't feel the destructive emotion at all, or only stayed in the relationship for convenience or practicality, then it might work. Adjusting to the reality of being part of a polygamous family took time, effort, and determination of all parties involved to succeed. Many were wondering what went wrong with the Brown family. Looking back on how it all began would help people understand why Kody and his wives were in the situation they were in at present. Meri Carolyn Barber was born on the 16th of January 1971 to Bill and Bonnie Barber. She was 5 when they moved to Utah from California, as her parents studied the principle of plural marriage, and later converted to the new faith. She then grew up in a large polygamous family, as her father eventually took 4 more wives, and she ended up with over 25 siblings. For the most part, it seemed that everyone was happy with this setup, so it was perhaps inevitable that she would follow the lifestyle she'd become used to, even though her biological parents never pressured her to do so. She was 18 when she first met Kody at church, and got to know him better as his sister was a good friend of hers. It soon became apparent that what they had going on was more than friendship. They were passionately in love and believed that they were soulmates. He said that their love story was the kind that one saw on TV and in movies. It didn't bother them that they didn't have much money, or that they had no concrete plans for the future, because all that mattered was that they had each other. They were married when Meri was 19 and Kody was 21. Everything was so exciting, and they led a carefree life. As happy as they were, they agreed that they would have a plural marriage. Robyn Alice Sullivan was born on the 9th of October, 1978. Her mother was a second wife who had a wonderful marriage with her father, and Robyn wanted that kind of relationship with her future husband. At 21 years old, she married someone from their faith, and her in-laws were spiritual leaders in their church. As she was misled and mistreated by her husband, their marriage ended in divorce 9 years later. They had 3 children together. She then went to visit a cousin in Lehigh. They attended church together. Cody was there, and her eyes were drawn to him. She was fascinated with the way he engaged others, as there was something peaceful and comforting about the way he conducted himself. She said that it wasn't an exaggeration that when their eyes met, she felt as though she had been shot with a bolt of lightning. A month later, her cousin introduced her to Cody, and the attraction was still there. But nothing came of it. Robyn found Meri to be sweet and believed that they would be friends. It was during a church event that things changed between her and Cody. As she danced and conversed with him, it felt like they were the only 2 people in the world. For his part, Cody said that he was transfixed by her spirit and added, "I couldn't deny the spark I felt. Not the kind of spark you feel in your loins, but something deep and transcendent." The trauma from Robyn's previous marriage made her hesitant about entering into another relationship, much less marriage. But if she joined a family, she knew she would be a plural wife. Being older and a divorcee with children, she had accepted that she would never be the first wife, but to be the 4th wife was daunting. However, her cousin convinced her that the Browns were good people, and any doubt she might have had vanished upon seeing how Cody cared for his kids and how love overflowed in their family. Cody sensed a spiritual connection between himself and Robyn, just as it was with his other wives, so it was only a matter of time before she became part of their family. It was important that everyone, particularly his first 3 wives, be on board with this. It had been 16 years since he last took another wife, and this new development in their lives wasn't exactly welcomed by all of them. Adding another wife and 3 kids into the mix would change the dynamics, and it would also mean each wife's time with Cody would be reduced. At this point in their lives, Cody believed that his family was stable and that his wives and children were happy. He thought it absurd that Robyn would threaten the peace that had settled into their home. Their polygamous family didn't have an easy start. It had been a blissful 3 years of marriage for Meri and Cody, so when he took Janelle Shriver for his second wife, they all had a rough time with it. Meri had known Janelle, as the latter had been married to her brother for 3 years. Cody and Janelle's relationship was more intellectual than romantic, which greatly relieved Meri, as she found this easier to accept and handle. She said, "If they had been the same kind of couple Cody and I were, I would have had a lot more trouble making peace with the idea of her as a sister wife." However, as they had different personalities, they didn't get along, and it placed Cody in a tough spot. Janelle felt uncomfortable living with them, especially seeing how affectionate they were toward each other. As Cody and Meri didn't know how to incorporate a second wife into their lives, Janelle felt like a house guest instead of a wife. When Cody had to travel far because of work, Janelle moved out. When Christine Allred became the 3rd wife, Meri was jealous because she saw how Cody was not just smitten, but in love with Christine's outgoing and goofy personality. However, she and Meri easily became friends. She stayed in a different house for a while so that she could experience having Cody all to herself. It was only when they all lived together in one house that they learned how to be a family. With Robyn, Meri and Cody discussed at length how special she was. When Meri once voiced her misgivings about Robyn joining their family, Cody told her that the emotional and spiritual connection he had with Robyn was undeniable and couldn't be undone by any insecurity that they might have had, saying, "This person whom God had brought into our lives was meant to be there." Janelle was overcome with emotion, and with tears welling in her eyes and her hand on her chest, she said, "Oh my goodness, there's something special about this. This is supposed to happen." Christine liked Robyn, but had some doubts about having her as part of their family, although remaining supportive of what Cody wanted. When Meri met Robyn, she immediately knew that the latter would be part of their lives. She was drawn to Robyn and wanted to be friends with her. The time was the absolute lowest point in her marriage, but she was the one who encouraged Cody to pursue Robyn. However, once the courtship began and the 2 explored what they had on a deeper level, Meri felt left out and unwanted, saying, "Robyn's presence transformed from something that filled me with joy to something that made me extremely lonely." Meri felt that Cody was shutting her out of his life, so the 2 consulted a marriage counselor who worked with plural families and knew the intricacies of such a lifestyle. Robyn helped Meri as she struggled with her emotions. She even joined the couple in their counseling sessions and at times had a couples counseling with Meri only, so they could work through some issues before they festered. Meri admitted that she resented Robyn for a time and put the blame on the latter for what she believed was Cody's unfair treatment of her. Robyn was heartbroken over this, as she said, "I love Meri so much. From the moment I met her, I felt an eternal connection with her." In time, Meri found in Robyn the sister-wife bond she had always hoped for. As for the other sister wives, she said, "Janelle and I have learned how to function well together. Christine and I know how to goof off and have fun together. The relationship was good, but had no depth to it." Cody divorced Meri in 2014 to tie the knot with Robyn, so he could adopt her kids from her first marriage. Over the years, it seemed that Cody's relationship with his first 3 wives deteriorated to the point that he became distant from them and led to Christine leaving the plural marriage in November 2021. Some viewers said that it all began when the sister wives lived apart from each other and lost sight of what belonging to one family meant. Christine once said that they all felt like single moms in Vegas, as Cody wasn't around much, hopping from one house to another. Others believed that it was when Robyn entered the picture, as Cody focused solely on her, while the rest struggled to find their place in Cody's heart. Later on, the 3 wives assured Robyn that it wasn't her fault. Many thought that Meri would also leave the family because of the way Cody had been treating her. He felt justified in doing so, and it didn't help that Meri was once involved in a catfighting scandal, in which she developed a relationship online with someone she thought was a guy. Cody had once said that he couldn't divorce his wives, but they could leave him if they wanted. Despite the absence of love between her and Cody, Meri chose to stay and was fully supportive of whatever decision he made for the family. Fans asked why she remained loyal to Cody when he made it clear that they were never going back to the way they were before. Their relationship would be purely platonic. Some theorized that perhaps Meri stayed because of Robyn. She had become very protective of her, especially since Robyn had been bashed online for what happened to the family and accused of being manipulative. Because of this, fans began to wonder if there was something romantic going on between the two of them. People gave new meaning to the hug they shared to comfort one another as the family was in crisis. Even more so when Robyn asked Meri, "Hang on with me, okay? We have to rebuild." However, there were those who could only laugh at this wild supposition. Whatever the case may be, fans would surely be glued to their seats once Sister Wives was back for a new season. Their confessionals and couch sessions in the TV series, in which they talked about their thoughts and feelings, showed how dysfunctional and troubled the family had become. Perhaps they'd found some semblance of peace before, but watching how Cody was with each of his wives brought on insecurities, jealousy, bitterness, and resentment. Even after being married for so long, seeing Cody become affectionate, such as hugging, kissing, and saying "I love you" to one of them made the rest uncomfortable. Meri had said that it wasn't jealousy, but about respecting one's relationship. It was interesting, but perhaps unsurprising, to note how the women who studied the principle and entered willingly into plural marriage had a hard time dealing with the reality of sharing a husband with other wives. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.